nothing. You can't do it. I had a wig on earlier. I put that thing off my car. Oh.
That's a little bit too bright. I was about to start really. Okay.
That's what I had to say.
3, 2.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl Angie Winder with my co-host
Yarden Graham.
Oh. So we are back. Last week we weren't here because of election.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking about some of the things that happened last Tuesday.
And that was good. Actually, it was a victory for you.
Yes,
so that was a big bonus, everyone.
Yes.
Congratulations to you, Angie.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you were out there with me. And,
thank you. I'm happy to be out there with you.
Yes. It was actually a beautiful day. A lot of energy. I never worked a pole before.
Guess what?
And it was beautiful.
I never worked a pole before either.
Well,
I never worked a pole.
Well, listen, the location we were, we did very well with voting turnout at that particular site. So I was very happy about that. And I had a lot of votes in that precinct, so I'm happy about that as well. I want to talk about, yes, my victory, but also I want to talk about some things that I saw. And of course, with Restoring the Village, we want to make sure that we put out some positive vibes and some positivities that we're going to talk about. And one of the biggest things that I had was the turnout.
Okay.
The voters turnout. And so I posted something, and I actually was going to talk about something else today, but I posted that Baltimore City has 333,357 registered voters. And of that, 302,000 are Democrats and registered in Baltimore City. But guess what? Primary election only had 26% voter turnout. To me, that's alarming. To me,
alarming.
That is something that we wanted to talk about. So I had a post, and that was exactly what the post said. And I had so many comments. I was writing them down left and right. So I'm not going to go through them all, but I wanted to kind of go off of some of the comments that made sense. But this is something that I wanted to talk about. So one of the comments was people not being motivated. I could see that, right?
But you know, Angie, it's kind of different because I kind of have a difference of opinion because people came out for early voting and they came out to early voting in record number. But when it came time to actual, the election time, it was a decrease than what it normally has been, but it was an increase in early voting.
So it was an increase in the early voting. I think even if it's 5 additional, they call that an increase. It was still kind of low, but yes, it was an increase. And I think just getting people excited about the voting probably did it, as well as less lines, more days to actually come out and do it. I stood out there a few times at the, if not almost every day, just a few hours here and there on early voting, kind of slow. But it was very exciting to hear that there was an increase on at the early votings compared to the last term. So
yes,
definitely. So what can motivate people? That's something that we can definitely talk about. And the reason I want to talk about this particular topic is because of what I've been elected to do.
Yes.
So let's just kind of go back. So I actually was going for the State Central Committee, and that is to increase voters turnout. That is to fill any vacancies. That is to represent the district and the Democratic Party. And so I am honored to be elected for the, and we didn't get sworn in yet, but to be selected for one of the positions. It was 7 in each district, and that is one of the things that made me really push for it, the voter turnout from the last term. And so only to see it low, this particular time, I wanted to continue to see what can we do to actually motivate, to actually reach communities. One of the things that I did, even though people thought I either had a campaign manager, no, I didn't. But one of the best things that you could possibly do, and it's probably the most annoying, not say annoying in that way, but the most tedious, should we say that? Because it takes so much away from you, but that is to get out there and knock on doors.
Wow.
And everybody don't want you knocking on doors, but most people appreciate it to see
a face.
Presence.
Yeah.
Yes. So a few people just said, hey, you have my vote because you came and I haven't seen anyone else. And in some cases you see it because maybe of visibility or something.
Visibility is very important. And like we were out there at the polls together, and of course I'm endorsing you, and a lot of people was like, yeah, I know Angie. Like it wasn't even a second thought.
I almost got in trouble with that poll location. I was taking votes, not so much, but you know. So one thing is the location was in my district, or near my home. So, and I was really pushing in that district as well. I mean, in that particular location. So again, getting out there, recognizing. I didn't get the literature until till June.
Okay.
Like maybe the second week of June, right before early voting, and I didn't have anything. So I was actually shocked. Wow. Shocked in a sense, because they had nothing to really, see that name or that face recognition. So,
but you know what really worked in your favor, which your method was kind of unconditional and very unorthodox, but
unconventional.
Yes.
But
it worked for you because you've been doing the grassroots for years. So that really, really worked for you. It's like, okay, I know Angie. Yeah, Angie's in the PTA. Angie's this, Angie's that. So it's like,
I think that's motivating. That's the motivation that people would need to see, because some people are like, well, who are you? Where have you been? I haven't heard, I haven't seen you. In fact, I even had it. I'm knocking on one door and one person said, Angie Winder, who are you? I don't know you. So, and it's okay. I said, it's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. Don't bite my head off. But let's talk now. What would you like to know about me? And
I bet you that softened them up too.
Yes. But I could feel that distrust, that broken, that brokenness as far as you see a candidate, and then if they are elected, you don't see them anymore. So we have to continue to be present in the community. So another thing that someone said was like no transportation.
No transportation.
No transportation. That could play a role, but I do know that several candidates had actual transportation. But then how can we get into knowing who can get you there or not? So it still takes getting there and connecting with each resident to know what's needed. So knocking doors, getting out there, going
dropping
to
the literature,
events, to actually know what's going on.
But you know what else?
That's a big part with like the elders mainly.
Okay. When voting, when it's those voting fairs, those convention fairs where everybody who is a candidate is actually voting, unless you are in the know, you don't know about the fairs and everything and those kind of conventions that are going on. So I kind of think that needs to be a little bit more like publicized. Like it needs to give a little bit more notoriety about that. Okay, they around here, or there's a church in the area, they're having a convention, they're having a fair, and I can meet everybody that's a candidate. I think that would increase voter turnout as well.
Yes, I think even going to the events and the forums, we have to go through all of those things, and that plays a big difference. Even though it takes your time. Sometimes, even if it's not many people at the community forum, show up anyhow, because someone's FaceTime, recording it, and they're putting it on social media.
Yeah.
So you just never know, right? And that makes a big difference.
That does make a big difference. And I was just talking about how your actual policy was that you ran, and to me, it was an eye-opener for some, because it's not one size fits all. Like when you're running for a candidacy, it's not one particular way to win a seat. There's no particular way, and you actually opened up my eyes to that. Well,
thank you. Let me tell you, I didn't know what I was doing. So that's that really like, but you know, I had certain people telling me things, and if I didn't think it was gonna work, I just didn't do it. And you know, a lot of times just being in prayer, a lot of times just trying to make sure that this is something that I know is the right thing to do. So we got to just be mindful of that, but at the end of the day, the people comes first.
The people comes first.
A lot of times I put, you know, posts out there and just ask questions, and if if people had commented and said this is what I believe you should do, that's what I was going to do. And so we got to make sure that even elected or not elected, that we continue to keep the people first, and that's how you're going to build trust. You know, a few people said they were only going to vote if they were able to vote for me. Now they weren't in my district, so they probably didn't vote. You know, and not to say just me, but you need more people that they can trust and they can see some brighter days.
Progression.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was something that was really, really enlightening to hear, and it just makes me continue. And if not, I don't think I've ever seen it be as competitive and you know, just out there as far as central committee, because they kind of downplay that position.
They do kind of downplay it, yeah.
But
it was competitive.
Yeah, I'm very competitive. I get that from my father, and so I continue to, you know, make some and let's talk about the knowledge. That was another thing that someone said, lack of knowledge about voting or the positions. And so that's something that I would like to offer, you know, in this new position, because a lot of people didn't even know what state central committees, you know, the position was and entailed. So there were times where I was on the show, even including your show.
Thank you.
I was on the radio shows just talking about the role itself, and that played a big difference as well.
I think you brought a lot of insight to state central committee, and I think it emphasized, okay, you know, everybody is worried about Trump and Trump this and Trump, he the president and he number 45 and all that, but the power that you actually hold is going to be at your state level. The power that you actually hold is going to be more with the senators and the delegates. They have more control, you know, the mayor and the governor, what's going on in your city, in your town, what affects you most intimately.
Yes.
And I think that's what a lot of people, they tend to overlook. They write about the presidency,
yes,
but what about your own hometown? What about next door? What about your neighbors? What about your school? What about your community? I think that's of the utmost importance.
And I think one of the comments said basically, here it is right here, politics is important, but there is no measurable impact on our day-to-day, so people shrug it off. How is that not, you know, impacting our day-to-day? That's, if anything, this is a particular one, because like you just said, this is a local, and it deals with us in our district, in our state. And yes, most people, you know, they look at the presidential, and so we have to make sure that we you know, that we understand that it does impact us.
It does.
And even if we don't vote, we have to still go to these meetings.
Yes.
We have to still be involved, and when we don't get involved, bills are passed without us. Laws are in place because we're not showing up. So I know that a lot of people say why they weren't voting, but I just still can't see the logic of not having that voice or getting people in place to represent you and your district.
While you were talking about that, you know, what came to my mind now is oftentimes we want to get our children in the best schools, so we search the zip code and everything else, but very little is done to change the environment under schools in which our children currently reside. So it's more influence on, it's more progressive in, oh, I'm gonna move here because this school system is already great and good. But what about the change that could be possibly in your own neighborhood schools? What about the drive and the force that you could bring collectively to bring change?
Absolutely. And speaking of school, even though it's kind of off, but do you remember, gosh, what is the name? What was it used to be? Citizenship skill? We had the citizenship tests. I don't remember. I could be saying it wrong. But we learned about the entire process, and that has been taken out of the school systems. And civics,
Okay.
Because I was gonna say, I think it was like okay, so we're gonna say civics for, but that's been taken out of school. And even if they do touch it, if they, urban growth, yes.
Yeah.
And even if we touch on it, even if they do it, they only touch on it, and then that's it. But so many are missing, and I can't even say it's just our youth. We can't even put a bracket of 18 to 35. I hit so many doors that when I asked people that were even 50, 60, when I asked them, it was still a lack of knowledge that we're missing. And some things are just more so, you know, the household name or the popular name, or they just don't want to look into other candidates, so they just go with the name that's going, that's moving. But you ask them what they've done, what bills they've passed or opposed, they don't know it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. We just need to do a little better with that. So hopefully, you know, that would be something that I can bring to the table
and suggest
suggest that one, or like I'm trying to utilize my website to have links to certain forms,
like a resource website,
like a resource for voting.
Absolutely. Yes. Wow, just like your nonprofit is a resource.
Yes.
So I like how you're actually aligning all those things
I
together.
know, that's amazing. I didn't know I was doing it, but I look at it, I'm like, okay. So there's a couple of other things on here that I wanted to say. It was so many. As you see, I have a whole little list of comments. I don't have the names, so hopefully if you heard your comment, understand that I read every last one of them. Let me just tell you, I read almost everything, especially when I'm tagged. But I read so much stuff, and may not have the time to fully get to each comment, but understand that everything you say, I'm taking in consideration. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to see how we can incorporate your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, to know that, you know, not only your vote count, but also your voice. And so hopefully, you know, we can utilize some kind of platform to do that. One thing is, some people say that, you know, they believe that the system, or should I say the voting system, is rigged, or that their vote just won't count anyway. And so that's when I do believe that people should get more involved in being like the election judges and getting involved to actually, you know, count it. I just think that we should be at the table, period, and be involved. If you think that that's, you know, that something's wrong, then I believe that getting involved in that area will help. As for me, it bothered me to know that there's a low voter turnout and that education is missing, so this is where I like to be.
Okay.
You could have told me I was going to be a teacher when I was young, because I always loved to just, you know, teach. But I also like to learn and make sure that I'm putting that right information out. But I thought that was kind of important of doing that. So it helped me. You know, one thing that was mind-boggling to me.
Tell me.
Was when I looked at, and I wrote it today. Listen, I promise you, I'm working when I'm at work. But I'm also reading. I'm also reading on my downtime. So, and let me just say that I always say a shout out to my job, but they have been very supportive. They're very excited for me. It's good to have people that.
It's good to have cheerleaders.
Yes, cheerleaders. Oh. It's funny that you said, I don't even know if you saw my post, but I was just saying how I miss my cheerleaders. And I said, you know, my dad passed and my grandmother last year, it's just like, you know how you just wish you can just call, you can pick up the phone like, hey, I did it, or that they were going to call me. And so you have those things missing, but it's so good when you have, you know, I don't say random, but people that you would not even expect to really be cheering you on. And they could very well be like, look, is it going to take away from your time? But I don't know what's going on, but I'm rocking and rolling at work. And I'm also, like I said, I love reading. I love knowledge. So one of the things that was mind-boggling to me, and I'm only going to talk about just my district right now.
Okay.
And this actually, the numbers were very close to the entire city, but let's talk about my district. So,
and what's your district, Angie?
The 43rd.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just want to put that out there.
43rd district. So what was mind-boggling is that there was 65% blacks. Okay. 27% white. And then it breaks it down with, you know, Asian and other races. But we have to understand that We are the majority, and most are not voting because they break it down with, you know, demographic. They break it down with
zip codes,
zip code, everything,
race,
and
everything,
that to
age,
me is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Because when we look at certain things, and I think the last time we were talking about, you know, just how things are going on in our city as far as board of homes and businesses. But we have to understand we're the majority, but we can't act as if we're the minority. And that says a lot when we're not showing up to vote, when we're not having certain things that could be in our communities, but we have a voice. And we've lost it on so many levels, and it's not even like, it's not to be racist. I'm just saying it's very disheartening to know the numbers, you know, and to see certain districts certain neighborhoods, should I say, go downhill. And we have to make sure that we bring that back, bring that hope, because I think that's what's really missing. Like, out of all the comments, it's the hope. It's what's missing in our community. So
when you're battling, I'm not gonna say devil's advocate, but I'm gonna kind of like want you to answer kind of this buffer. Okay, so what direction do you go in when you're battling impoverished conditions, poverty, oppression, you know, the state of mind, violence, crime, you know, all those things, you know, drugs, you know, all those things, when that's their everyday perspectives and facets of our community, then where does voting something like that come into play?
I know. Especially when all you see is the bad, or you see the signs come up and then they disappear, and the people disappear with the signs. That is, I'm just so serious. I didn't say names. I'm just saying, yes, where does it come in place? It's definitely not going to be, you're definitely not going to make it go away or change it right away. Get that out of your mind. I'm not even, let me just say, I've been elected for the State Central Committee, but the things that I get is like for the mayor, the governor. I was like, I'm not the mayor. I cannot do that. But it's good to know that even if I can't, you know, in my particular position, to be linked up. And I've found so many. I've even been connected or reconnected with so many people that have won. Or didn't win, but they're doing something else. And so that's resources. That's additional resources to me.
That is additional resources.
That's additional regardless. And I'm thankful for that. But it definitely is going to take us sitting down. There's going to take some meet and greets. You know, it's going to take them seeing us, not just during election time, but throughout the year. I wish I had more time to actually go into the communities that needed that, to see that, and needed that during that particular time. I will, but during that time we couldn't, and it is only because either A, they weren't registered to vote, so it's kind of like I have to try to say, hey, could you vote for me, in a sense, and also, you know, trying to even get them registered. Or to try to persuade them to register. I don't say persuade, but, you know, try to encourage them to get registered. So there were so many battles of just trying to get with someone. But I think that they should not be, and they meaning those that are not registered, they should not be overlooked, because if they continue to be overlooked, you continue to have people that are not registered, that, you know, have a lack of knowledge and don't want to vote. So it's very hard to see when you have boarded up homes and you have, you know, homicide rate is high and schools are really bad, but it does take, at the end of the day, no matter if we decide to vote or not, someone's voting, and it's still getting done, rather it's in our best interest or not. So why not be on the side that's going to vote, you know, for the change?
And you know what else? You kind of touched into what I was thinking, because at the end of the day, you know, change doesn't change until when you change. So that's another thing that I would say to, you know, that own question, because a lot of people can have that perspective. Well, so much going on. The last thing I'm worried about is voting, but you have to implement some steps in the right direction.
Yes.
To, even if it's a gradual change, it's better conditions than what you had a month ago, a week ago. It's better conditions for the generations to come, are our children. So something has to give, even if it's baby steps. You know what I mean?
Yes. I always say baby steps are okay with me, you know, because that's what got me here.
Wow.
It took baby steps. It took for me to learn the process and learning, because I don't have it. You know, I don't have it all. I'm not a politician. That's what makes me different. I'm not a politician, and that's what makes it different. I don't know how many times I can say that, but that is definitely something that should be implemented, that we have to get back to the people. We have to get back. We all know what's needed in the city, or you know, what help the city. And so we have to make sure that we are connecting with the community.
Can I say something about that? Because when you said that, it made me drive my point home. One of the things that I really think worked in your favor, Angie, is because you provided some type of normalcy. Okay, she's the girl next door. She's just like you and me. Not all stuffy with a suit and tie, talking about some politics, trying to sell me this and trying to sell me that. A girl next door. I'm you. I experienced what you experienced.
Angie from the next door.
Yes, I experienced what you experienced. Some of the tragedies you experienced in your life, I experienced it too. And it's like, yeah, I kind of want somebody who's like a normal person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think that really worked in your favor.
I think that's the exciting part, because
it is exciting.
I don't care if it was that one person that said something or that got something out of it. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was amazing to see the smile, to see the energy. It was amazing even to have people say, you know, I already know her, and I'm like, I don't know her, you know. I really don't. But everybody meant something special.
Yes.
And I made sure that they knew that. I mean, what was I saying? Hey, neighbor.
Yes.
So now I started that, like, hey, neighbor. And everybody, because that's what we need to get back to. We need to get back to being neighbors. We need to get back to, you know, helping one another. I told everybody, and I meant it from my heart, win or lose, I wasn't going anywhere. And that's what we have to understand. Like, we have to continue to, you know, to do the right things. And like I said, we can have a whole list front and back of comments about why you're not voting, but at the end of the day, whether you're voting or not, somebody's voting.
Somebody is voting.
Somebody's voting on our behalf, so why not let it be you? Why not let it be us? There are times where I sat there and I'm going to meetings without being, like I said, I haven't even been sworn in yet, but as a just regular person, what'd you say, Angie? I forgot, next door or something.
The girl
next door will go to city council meetings. The girl next door, I remember testifying, and thank you so much, Councilwoman Sharon Middleton. You really made my day when she tagged myself and the mayor and all of the city councils. There was something that I testified at City Hall about removing commercial knives from commercial display. And so what I'm trying to say is that whether we're in it or we're not, we still have a voice. I was there to be counted in, to have this vote pass and become pass as far as a bill or law, should I say. But I was able to do that because I showed up.
Hey,
and I voted.
Talk about it.
You know, so we have to. And if nobody voted, maybe they wouldn't have taken it serious. I mean, if they, not to say particularly that one, but that's how we have to carry it. We have to come to these meetings. I actually wrote down, like, the next meeting is on Monday, I believe, next city council. Yeah, so the next city council meeting is Monday, July 9th at 5 p.m. We have to show up. We can't complain and say what someone's not doing. They're doing it because we're not showing up, because we're not voting on these things, because we're not testifying, because we're not voicing our opinions, and understand that we have a voice.
But you know what else? And that also goes to a lot of the people who are like, you know, the schools are closing, the recs are closing, and they have concerns about what's going on in the community. Like right now it's summertime, you know what I mean? It's no programs for the kids in the summertime, blah, blah, blah. Then I think a good place for anyone who has views and opinions about it is to go to those city meetings, those PTA meetings, those city council meetings, and kind of get all those things out there, because I guarantee you, if they see the numbers, like what does it say? It's unity in numbers. So if they see the unity in numbers and everything there, it's going to force a change of what the budget is being focused on.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, that goes with anything. Unifying, something that we're having a hard time doing. I can't speak on what I want to say, but certain districts unified, and you got certain people in office, and I'll just leave it as that. Anyone who's following politics will know what I'm talking about. But they came and they unified, and that's how they got their people in, you know. And we have to make sure that when I say people, I'm just saying period. Like, find a candidate to back, and we all need to come together and to support. But when you have like 12 people going for the same thing, you split votes. It will be impossible.
It will be split votes. But then I see the unifying thing, I see it in both areas. I see it as good because a lot of times, you know, people have the crabby crab kind of mentality, pull you down, and it's a lack of unity oftentimes. So when you go somewhere and you see people unifying, and okay, this is very important to me, I want to bring this attention to that, and you have them, you know, forming divisions and all that with one another, I think that's important. That's a lesson that we actually need to learn, and it can also be used in our favor.
Absolutely. So we said a lot so far, and if anyone is viewing it, I'm trying to figure out how to how to do this without making a lot of noise. But if anyone would like to call in, the phone number is 404-436-1277. We would love to hear your comments. Again, the number is 404-436-1277. I love talking about this, and I love encouraging and empowering our communities, and this is something that you can look forward to each and every Tuesday. So I'm just excited to even be back. If anybody would like to be our guest, we are booking again, and campaign is over. Woo! Campaign is over. Listen, I don't care if I have to still go to meetings and do everything, but it was really hard going to meetings, doing this, doing that, and campaigning, knocking on doors. Like, it's literally time where I sat there and came in the house 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was rough, you know. But if you want something, you work hard for it,
and you know what, that made your victory even more sweeter. You know, you had the 1 o'clock mornings, and
oh my goodness, I was like, if y'all see anything on your doors, know that I just dropped it. And I didn't cross anybody's grass. I actually walked down each step, walked back up. It was a little exercise, right? It was one person that said that while we were campaigning, so funny. And I said I would never cross anybody's grass again. Now, I don't know about the post office people, but it took me, because you never know, somebody might be looking at that, and you may have lost a vote because of that one. Oh, you crossed, you couldn't even walk, you know. And I don't believe in, not to say it's a bad tactic, but I don't believe in dropping it on cars. I feel like, come up to my door. You know, I don't care if it's just in my door or in my mailbox, but have the audacity to actually go up to a person's door and drop it.
Now, do you drop it, or do you ever knock on the door and you do the meet and greet?
Oh yeah. So if it's a certain hour that's decent, of course, not night. You know, once it gets dark, there's no knocking on doors, but you can still drop it so they can see it. Okay. And I just made sure that my information was on there to contact me. I did have a lot of friend requests, so maybe it's from some of the doors that I knocked on. or left. But at any rate, you know, I'm really excited about.
Well, you just upped your network.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. My daughter has been maintaining the Instagram page.
Yes.
And so I have to send her over some more things. But when I tell you it takes a village, so she actually will post things on there going forward. And if I don't even know if anybody knows it, but it's just Elect Angie Winder. And I don't know, maybe we need to change it now that it's I will be elected, but it's really hard trying to do all these social media pages, but it works out, you know.
It does work out.
Someone told me, I wish we can get somewhere where a person can get elected strictly off of social media. I almost want to say that I was there. You know, I mean, just campaigning through that, but just strictly using social media without the knocking on doors. I would say I literally was knocking on doors just in the month of June. So I can say that it probably could work, but I can't say that.
I think, okay, so say like you was knocking on all the doors, right? And it was like, okay, I just seen that she knocked on my door. Let me see how she living. Let me see her lifestyle. Let me see, okay, what's going on with her? What's she doing? Let me get a glimpse in her rear. So when you are voting,
that's accountability. I'll tell people.
when you are running for candidacy, this is a question for you, Angie. What is a good amount of your personal life to show? Because people want to know who they're voting for. They want to know your morale. They want to know your ethics and everything.
Yes.
What is a good amount to reveal of your personal life and a good amount to keep to yourself?
Let me tell you. So I would say now it's probably a public figure. Because everything is public. That's what I struggle with. Let me tell you, when I filed, I did not want to for that reason. But what I will say is being transparent with people. Sometimes I'll show my daughter. Sometimes she might been on a show off the chain. But people need to know that at the end of the day, Angie's a mommy. Yes, she still want to help you. You know, last night I was just so happy to just cook because we've been running. You know, they haven't had mommy home to cook. So when we say that, I say I welcome people in certain things because I want them to know that I'm there for my children. That, you know, that I am there at the PTA meetings and going to school board meetings. So a lot of times I may post where I am or what I'm doing because I want people to be invited. To know that there's nothing I'm hiding. You know, as far as like other things, I won't say like when, you know, if I go on a date, you know, hey, you know. But you know, I want to say, you know, keep. You don't want to have everything out, but you don't want people to think that you're hiding something. So just keep it open, you know, and I think people appreciate that they know. On my literature card, I don't have one with me, but on the back of it, I put, you know, I'm alumni from Maryville High School. And I put that because that's a district that I ran in. And so I will be now being able to represent a school that I graduated from. So anyway, I put these fun facts on there, and most people were like, "Oh, you went to Maryville?"
Wow.
You know, because it was something tangible, something that related to them.
Yes.
Something that was still in our district, and that to me was probably one of the biggest things that they looked at. And also, they said that I had a pretty smile, and so they said in the polls, I was like, hey, whatever works for you to remember me.
So if anybody is thinking for running for candidacy, then you need to have a pretty smile.
No, so you have to make sure you have a great picture, because let me tell you, people will put you down and be like, I don't like this person picture, you know. So make sure you have a great picture. Make sure that you continue to be out there. And make sure that you just, you know, if it's in your heart to do things, do it. You know, to make sure you just continue to be a change in the community. I don't know that was So I'm really excited about just everything that's going on in the community. One of the things that I wanted to say is, speaking of people doing positive things in the community, I wanted to shout out someone, not expected, and maybe I should be tagging him, but maybe I will just tag it afterwards. But I wanted to shout out TJ Smith. One thing I would say is, and he's a police spokesperson, a media spokesperson, if anyone doesn't know, but I wanted to shout him out because he was one that endorsed me. He put a post out saying, you know, about supporting me, but not only that, we kind of so first of all, we went to Falstaff, okay. So we kind of go way back. Yeah, he's older than me. I'm the baby, but he has a great heart. And at the end of the day, people will know the name. They will know what he's doing. And I would love one day, you know, where people can just say Angie Winder and know that that person is really going to be there. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to always have to do is making a positive name, a name that people can count on. And so I wanted to shout him out because he just had an article, he just posted an article, and it was about his brother being murdered, and yesterday made a year. And the crazy thing is that I reached out to him, of course. A lot of time I'm reaching out to people that may have lost their loved one, and I reached out to him, and the day that I was actually going to his brother's vigil, I had a call that my cousin was shot. So and he actually had died. But I wanted to say it takes a very strong person to actually continue to do the work when you have had a great loss. So it's hard for me sometimes to go out in the community to encourage people knowing I have a loss. I lost my husband. But to know that, I think everybody has, you say, you know, mentoring. I won't necessarily say like he did anything to actually, you know, mentor me and sit me down. But it's just people like TJ Smith who continue to do the work despite. And so he had to actually make the announcement about his brother. He did an article. If anyone has not seen it, I posted it. Make sure you read it. It's not just about his brothers, but he's talking about Baltimore, period. And he's talking about all the obstacles. It's actually 36 pages that I have here. Wow. But it gives you a highlight or a glimpse of Baltimore City, the things that we're going through. But like I said, the reason I want to shout him out is because he's continuing to do the work despite. And so we have to make sure when we talk about motivation, perhaps his brother was motivation. My husband is definitely my motivation. Find a motivation and do the right thing, meaning, you know, if a person is out there in the streets, don't be out there in the street, you know. If a person wants to educate people on financial literacy, do it because you know you're helping somebody. Whatever your thing is and your gist is, do it. But continue to just do it at all costs, you know. So I wanted to shout him out, and like I said, I hope that you know, he looks at the video. I will tag him. Yeah. But he really encouraged me. I read every single page. Yeah. And it was really good. So I won't talk about it right now. Maybe I'll have him on the show. He definitely said that he would be willing to come on the show one day. So maybe he'll be on here to talk about this.
I really have a special place in my heart for the people like that. And the people like you who are so resilient, who are so tenacious. I mean, in spite of, despite, irregardless, you know, I'm going to persevere through no matter what my challenges are, you know, no matter what I have to conquer.
That was encouraging to me.
Like, you know, no matter how much, you know, it saddens me, no matter how much I feel depressed, sorrow, guilt, grief, no matter whatever comes my way, you know, I'm really going to take this on. Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
And I'ma just push.
Right.
And that just motivates me because you know so many things happen to any and everybody, and they use that as a reason to give up.
Oh yeah.
And they use it as a reason to surrender.
We can't use anything as a reason not to keep going, and that isn't voting too. I'm sorry, we're gonna drill this one of these days.
Say that again, Angie, because that touched me.
I'm so serious.
Use anything as a reason to not keep going.
Yes. And so, you know, yes, we may have had, you know, people get in place and are in place doing the wrong things, or that can take away of why we don't want to vote. But we have to keep going, and we have to get a seat at the table. And like you said, the boots on the ground. It's going to take people getting out there despite. how you feel or what you're doing to get that word out, connecting with people. I kept saying, if I can get one person that support me, I need y'all to tell 10 others. That's how it should be. We should be talking amongst each other. And speaking of like the meet and greet and the mingle, I basically had said earlier, I don't even know if it was recorded or not, but this month makes a year of being doing the radio show. I'm really excited, and I'm thankful for Radio on Fire. I'm thankful for Diamond K. Being a great producer is very professional. One day this month, we got to figure out a date. Oh, yeah. 4th of July?
One day is the month of July.
No, I didn't say 4th of July. I'm going to say I'm going to be at the beach 4th of July. Yes,
planning time.
One day this month, yes. But I just wanted to say there are people that you just have to, acknowledge. You have to keep going. And, it was very rough trying to do both. Sometimes I couldn't do it, but sacrifices to see the actual end result is amazing, and to know that you can do something a year, that's good. And so
not only do it a year simultaneously. It just wasn't a year of doing a radio station. It was mom, it was motherhood, it was working, it was this, running for your candidacy, it's everything.
And it was progression. So so since you brought it up. So when she started,
oh no!
If you maybe I need to put together a best of, because from where she started for where she is now, she's really progressed. So she initially, all of that. So she's more comfortable. She's more comfortable because initially she was more reserved than she is now. So now you seem comfortable. But initially, it was just kind of like it seemed like you were cold, like brr, it was cold, like you're on edge, like you know what I mean. You need to relax, and but now you relax, you're cool, you're laughing, you're having fun, but you're talking about serious stuff, and so it's really good, and I'm glad to have you here.
Like she had too much starch on her clothes.
Yes, I think that's a good one. Yes, like she couldn't really bend her legs. Because her legs kind of straight. She can't
I probably was scared that something was going to hurt me from saying the wrong things.
Really?
That's why you always say, I can't say that. People be looking like, you just said such and such. Let me tell you. During the whole candidacy, I've gotten in trouble. we can't talk about it. Okay. But you just gotta be mindful of what's being said.
But you made it.
But I made it.
But you made it.
Mama made it. So I'm so excited.
Irene said that that you are relatable and genuine, and people can pick up on fake.
Oh, yes. All right.
That's a compliment.
Thank you.
That's a compliment. That's a compliment.
Thank you, Irene.
Cornelia said you gotta go get it.
Okay.
Gotta go get it.
Wait a minute, what are you looking at? I'm gonna read this.
Joseph Kane said #grind.
All right. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
And JB said good evening. Exclamation point.
Well, thank you everybody that is commenting. Please, if you want to call in, the number again. Yes, thank you, Irene. I do see it now. The number is 404-436-1277. Again, it's 404-436-1277. We are looking, like I stated, to have guests on the show. So if you would love to be one of our guests, we're still spotlighting community leaders that are in our district and city. We also have election. Let me just say, general election is still going on. It's coming up, and it will be November. I thought I wrote it down. November 6th. Let me make sure. Yeah, November 6th is the general election.
So what election just passed? That was
the primary.
That was the primary. Okay.
That's a very important one. Okay. Primary election is important.
They're all important.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm just saying, like.
I think you gotta, because people get confused. So you gotta. I think if we just kind of blanket, it's all important.
Oh yeah,
they'll get confused and say, "Wow, the primary, general, this or that." They may just get confused if everybody just comes out and votes for everything. It's not that often. It's like the Olympics. It's not like it's every week. It's a special event. It's like the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics. Every now and then, every couple years.
They're both important. Yes, I won't even say one, but they're both
for different reasons.
But the primary is where you eliminate down to your one Democrat, and because we're a Democratic state, it's very big because it's a win or lose, for that point.
Can I ask you a question? You may not answer it because you take the high road and the safe road.
I'm about to get cold again.
Be like, what's your favorite cereal? You be like, I don't know if I want to talk about cereal. I'm an oatmeal kind of chick. I got you. So, but seriously though,
it's too hot for oatmeal. It's too hot for oatmeal.
Right. Okay.
106 degrees is too hot.
What happened to cream of rice? I like cream of rice.
Cream of wheat?
No, cream of rice.
Cream of rice.
Nobody remembers that. I'm making this up. No, I'm not making this up. I'm telling you, it's happened.
I never heard of cream of rice either.
It happened. Okay, it's from the 80s.
Cream of wheat.
Google it. Google it. Google cream of rice.
Well, actually, I think I do remember.
It's like cream of wheat, but it uses rice instead of the wheat. I'm telling you.
It's not. Yeah, it's not popular.
No, it's not. It's not popping. It's not popping, but it's good. Do you think? Because so many people said that, and I'm going back. So you weren't even in this election, so you just shouldn't be an issue for you. This is about the. I'm talking about the presidential election.
Okay.
The people that said that their vote didn't matter, or it didn't matter who they voted for as far as Trump or Hillary. Do you think that now people say, the people that thought like that, no? Do you think it would have made no difference if Hillary had won versus Trump winning? Now the people got a year and some change of seeing Trump. You got to say,
hopefully it opened their eyes. But
yes, because Hillary would have not done the same things that Trump is doing.
Absolutely, I agree.
She done her own little things, but it wouldn't have been none of this stuff.
Yeah.
And the United States wouldn't have right now. United States is in a state of depression. It's foggy. It's gloomy. Ever since he was the president. They rejected. He's the only president that I remember that they rejected. He's not my president. He's not my. They went into, and everybody was depressed for the first month that he even was the president.
Even before he got sworn in, after he won, it was just kind of like, oh my God.
Yeah. They probably took it for granted. Hopefully.
Yeah, they did.
And
they did take it for granted.
Hillary took it for granted too.
Yeah, basically what you both said was that they focus more on the presidential. So I believe there will be a higher turnout in 2020. But like you stated, it should be important no matter what. Like local, So.
But I think the mayor's race, which is during the presidential race, that I think affects them more directly, because some people in their minds, it's like the mayor, they just kind of connect themselves with the mayor more. But I think that if they really did their research, they would see that they're connected to both races.
Oh, absolutely.
There's stuff that happens in both races.
Yeah.
The state's attorney's race. They need to be.
That one I can't say.
Yeah.
That's I got cold.
You gotta say, you be cold. She's warm over here. Did that race go the way you wanted it to go?
Yes, it did. Let me tell you about that. Okay, personally, I'm a very diehard Marilyn Mosby fan.
Okay.
And with people with her, it's some people she has her fan base. She has the people that will rally everything for her. So I'm one of the people in that category. What I noticed firsthand at the polls, because I volunteered at the polls, she took care of her people on that day. Marilyn Mosby had the food trucks going out. If you were at the polls, you got fed. I don't care if you were volunteering at the polls, you got fed. I seen her order pizza. Okay, I'm hungry. Anybody who volunteered for her campaign and everything, she said, whatever pizza delivery, you were fed, you were taken care of. If you were a voter and you were there, you got fed. She really took care of all the people, and it wasn't divisive. If you outside and my food truck come, I'm sponsoring for everybody that's there, everybody getting taken care of. So she really took care of the little people, and it just wasn't her people all the way around. And I never seen that done before. Never seen that done before.
I don't think I have either. Not in an election. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And what are your thoughts?
On pizza? I love pizza.
No, not a pizza. The way it turned out.
As far as that race,
yeah,
that race went.
I thought it was going to be closer.
That race went the way I wanted it to go as well. So me and my father had a chance to sit down with Ivan Bates and with Theroux, and
how come you didn't have Marilyn on here?
Why?
She could have came on.
She could have. See, some people here didn't want that to happen.
All right, go ahead.
Because I'm very familiar with her, and I think that they felt like I would have given too much of a lopsided discussion, but it went the way that it was. It went the way that I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
Now, but Dominique, it was still lopsided if you allowed her opposition to come on, but you didn't allow. It wasn't equilibrium when you could have had equilibrium. So
it's like. It's like Nicki Minaj coming here. It's like Nicki Minaj coming here. If Nicki Minaj comes here, it's going to be the same type of interview. It's going to be the same type of interview. No, but here's what I didn't like about it. I didn't like the fact that the guys is tearing down the lady. I didn't like that part. Yeah. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm old school, but I felt it was kind of mean spirited. And I think you can run a campaign with respect, be on different sides, and not be mean spirited. Because we're gonna have to work together.
Let me tell you, that last forum they had, it wasn't that many, but that last forum they had, I was just like, wow.
Yes.
Because all you got, it was like she's in the middle and y'all just going at her. And I just think like,
you talking about which one?
The TV one, actually. They were on.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, I don't remember the one, but
at the university.
I don't know. Who gave it?
Who gave it?
Yeah, I don't remember. Okay. But it was the last one, and I looked at it because I wanted to be, diverse and not be biased. So I looked at them, and it just threw me completely off because they.
Who won that debate?
So
I was there. I was there for that one.
For that one, I don't even know if you want to say a loss because all I heard was and I couldn't even listen to it. It was very.
She was saying, they were trying to give it. She said, "Give it your best shot." I got it. I can handle it.
But I love the fact she was tough. Like she didn't break. She didn't like.
She's been in West Baltimore long enough.
Yeah.
And the way it is now, there's no alternative.
Yeah.
You gotta be tough.
Yeah. She a classy lady.
Yeah.
So I was
no hot sauce in her purse. You don't think she has hot sauce in her purse?
No, I don't think I'm gonna call her and see if she got. So yeah, we and understand. Again. I don't think it will be too much, but general election. The biggest thing with general election is the governor's race, and so
you're saying that the governor is the biggest person in the
as far as general,
the biggest candidate, like he weighs the most. Is that what you're trying to say?
But you know what I want to say?
Look, this is.
I don't think that, for one, we look at men and what men can endure entirely different from what women and what women can endure. In her, in the aspect of being a woman who is emotional and all these characteristics that a woman is supposed to be, I think she held her own individually. And I think a lot of people in her shoes, in the hot seat, with everything she had to face, would not have that much amount of resiliency and would have folded amongst every trial that was coming her way. Mind you, we're going there for what, 4 more years, right? She's 38 now. When she first was elected, she was 34 years old. Could you imagine being in that small capacity where you're African American and you're female, which is what, 2%? 2% of the population for African American state's attorney, and you're 34 years old and you're the state's attorney. Now you're 38. Am I doing my numbers right?
Yeah, 4 plus 4. 4 plus 4 is 38. Yeah.
I was reading, so I'm trying to make sure I'm doing my numbers right.
Yeah.
So yeah, 34.
Why do people dislike her so much?
Well,
you know what?
Because some people, the people that, just like you said, you were diehard. The people that like her. And the people that don't like her are the exact opposite and don't like her.
It's very polarizing.
Yeah.
But you know why? I think it's the lens on how it's displayed. I think, okay, So it's a lot of controversy going on with the actual police department. There's a lot of division there. If I could spin this to look like so-and-so is at fault, if I believe that, I will be diehard in opposite direction myself. It's all in the perspective that you choose to believe. If you feel like she's responsible for that, then I wouldn't be a fan either. But it's all about being the individual and having your own individual thinking. If you think she's responsible for it, then you be like, nah, I ain't with all that. If you think, no, I don't believe that, I'm more aligned with this. Not feeding what social media, not feeding like the news, like it's fake news. Like,
yeah, we talked about.
Are you reading yourself? Are you researching yourself?
Well, they just headline. Some people are just headline readers.
And they're headline readers.
Oh my goodness.
And then she's an enemy because you're a headline reader. But did you research? Did you inquire? Did you do this? What do you have to back up what you're saying besides a news article that you read?
That you read the title of, not that you read. They don't read the article. A lot of times they just read the headline.
People send things, and I'm like, do you know this was from 2014? I mean, like, you just read the headline and you just share it away, or not the right resource.
One thing that bothers me, because I'm a person that's very thorough. I'm a person that's very analytical. If I tell you something, if I stand on something, I have opinion or perspective. I'm gonna give you 1,001 reasons. Front was the back was, and back was the front was why I believe X, Y, and Z. And a lot of people, they have certain stance and opinions, but they don't have any credence or value behind that. If you ask them why you think this, or why is this your position on this, what do you hear? Crickets. So if you're gonna believe in something or you're gonna stand for something, you need to be able to run it back. And they can't do that.
Absolutely. Well, we are gonna be simmering down. Maybe we'll have Madam Marilyn Mosby on the show as well. I'm looking forward to a lot of people coming on the show, getting back in place. And we wanted to just, you know, like I said, let everybody know how much we appreciate. We want this to be utilized as a positive platform. We don't want it to come in where you feel like, you know, like that forum, you know, they were attacking each other. We don't want that. Everybody has their own voice and vote.
We are what? We're neighbors.
We are neighbors. Oh my goodness. So I got to figure out a way to incorporate that, because I use that to the point where somebody like commented, I forgot his name, he was with us, and he was like, hey neighbor, and I was like, okay.
When you have your party, say I'm inviting all my neighbors. So you can, that's your marketing right there.
And listen, my birthday is this month too.
Woo!
So good things to come. So we talked about voter turnout. If you missed my post, please go on there. There's a lot of great feedback. No wrong answer, no right one. Just all good vibes and good conversation. I'm so happy for, you know, having a positive dialogue, and I will continue to utilize my page in that form of fashion. Please make sure that you understand that everybody has an opinion. So don't get booted off my page. But it's so beautiful to see all the comments on there, and they made great points. I'm personally going to take that, and when I have my first meeting with the State Central Committee meeting, I want to, you know, be able to bring some things to the table, and it's going to come from the people. So I'm really excited about, you know, helping and again, people first. So we want to make sure that your voices are going to be counted no matter what. You know, I will represent it. I will bring that to the table. So really excited about future things. If anyone wanted to be on the show, I have a few people that I have in place, and then you know, we're going to sit down and try to put everything out for at least the summer perhaps. But have things in place. We want this again to be a place where you can come in and you're doing something positive. You know, you come here and you can let people know what you're doing. A lot of people are seeing the page or seeing our show, so it's great feedback out there coming back for us. So we're very excited about that. Jordan, do you have anything that you'd like to say?
Yes, and also that great feedback is an encouragement and motivator. If you're seeing the great feedback and you have the exposure to it, then we encourage everyone out there to know to get their boots on the ground and do more positive things, uplifting things for the community, going to rallies, mentoring, feeding the homeless, whatever you see that fits your boat, that's going to be a plus and benefit for the community. And guys, if you like, I would love for you guys to follow me and Angie on social media. And my name is Yardyn, Yardyn. My last name is Graham, Graham. And now we are about to close, you guys. I'll send it right back to you, Angie.
Okay. So I just want to say, just to ways to contact me is Elect Angie Winder on Facebook, as well as Instagram. I don't know if I have a Twitter, but I also have a website. It is www.angiewinder.com. Y'all gonna know my name. And what else? I think that's it. So the website is angiewinder.com. Elect Angie Winders on Facebook and Instagram. Also, make sure that you follow us continuously on Restoring the Village. That is RTV Project, because that's what we're doing. At the end of the day, we continue to restore our village. You can reach us here each and every Tuesday, 6:15. We're looking for some people to come in. We're going to be booking again. Campaign is over, and we're back to the grinding of the radio show, something that we love to do. So thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you, again, share the video whatever time you look at it. Just make sure you hit the share button so we can put those views up. Thank you, Irene. I'm looking at the comments, so he put me on the show, so what was going on. But she said good show, and I want to thank you, everyone who's tuned in and everyone who's commented, and continue to do it. Make sure you're hydrated, because it is hot outside. So make sure you hydrated, you drink plenty of water, and we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Everyone have a awesome 4th of July.
Awesome.
And safe one. See you all next Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.